Hello everyone and welcome back to Styler Off the Books, the podcast where we turn off the filters from the hair and beauty industry. Today I'm sitting down with Ellie from ELRAE Hair Extensions and Training Academy. Ellie's journey to having a successful business has taken lots of twists and turns, and today she shares that incredible story. Ellie focuses on showing you how to get fully booked but with premium clientele, and who doesn't want that? So get your notes app ready. It's time to sign out of the salon, listen in, and as always, keep this to yourself because it's time to go off the books. We have officially started the podcast.
Amazing.
So
did they give you a thumbs up or something?
Yeah, he did.
All right.
He did.
Okay, cool.
So I will officially welcome you and thank you for coming on, Ellie.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. I mean, we've met in person before and you've been using Styler for a few years now,
Yes.
but I'm so excited to actually sit down and get to know you and everything behind you and your business. Now, just to kick things off, we're going to help us relax a little bit.
Yeah.
And we're going to just do a little rocket round with a true and false.
Okay.
And just for you, I've made it specific to like the hair extension industry, and you've not seen these questions.
Yeah.
So
do you want me to like
I'm excited. So yes, so if you think it's if you think it's true, you show us the tick, like facing that way. That's perfect.
that way?
Yeah.
Am I breaking the fourth wall again?
Break the fourth wall if you want to break the fourth wall. Or obviously if you think it's false with that. Okay, so the longest set of hair extensions ever applied is the length of the Empire State Building.
Surely not.
It is false, but it's actually like longer than the Empire State. It's closer to the Burj Khalifa.
Have you got the logistics behind this?
So it was
That's
done
insane.
by, I'm going to mispronounce this name, Nikola Kolezik, and I think it was a Polish like hair designer.
Yeah.
And it was done like over like several days.
Wow.
Attaching the hair. So it's actually longer than the Empire State Building. It's in the Guinness World Book of Records.
I was going to say, surely that's a record.
I think that was the whole point of it. Was
Wow.
to try and get it through the Guinness World Book of Records.
And
But
where have they sourced that hair? Like,
I know.
That's
I know.
crazy.
I don't know all of the ins and outs.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'll link
be-
it in the description.
I will be sprinting home to be Googling that. I need to know where they sourced it from. Like, I've definitely got a client who would have hair that long as well.
Really?
So, yeah.
Oh my God. All right. The first recorded set of hair extensions date back to the year 3400 BC.
I don't know when like Cleopatra was around. Well, I'm thinking it's giving that kind of.
You've got the right vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was the ancient Egyptians.
Yeah.
With human hair and sheep wool bound together, and they'd apply it with beeswax as well. So,
Wow.
but you went straight to the right area.
Yeah.
Cleopatra's like the first recorded icon of the.
Is she from the hair and stuff?
Yeah,
oh my God,
yeah.
I wasn't too far off.
Okay, we're going to skip more to modern day now.
Okay.
And I wanted to know what you thought about this. So the number one requested extension colour for 2026 is mocha mousse. So obviously we're going like a brunette there.
Yeah, and then like that's brands call their numbers different stuff. So
It's like, I looked up the colour. It's like
is it like
we're basically going brunette over blonde. Like,
yeah. I'm going to say true because blondes are going more lived in. Blondes typically have extensions more because we paid the price of the damage with our having it bleached or like whatever. But I'm going to guess yes. But then obviously we can mix that in and things like that. So I think the mocha mousse is like the perfect thing.
You've given a very professional answer there.
Yeah.
But like the short answer is like, yes, it's true. So like people are going more umbrella term brunette.
Yeah.
But I think it is that blondes are going more.
Yeah,
like,
it's not like a deep chocolate.
Yeah.
In my head, I can picture this shade.
can picture it,
yeah.
yeah.
And it's,
amazing.
I see that.
Good, you're on a good roll here. Hair extensions made of real human hair can be used for DNA testing.
Well, I would say that's true, but like at only a certain point because they go through a massive like chemical procedure. So surely that would take a lot of it away.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I'm going to say the finished, well, I don't know, it's a bit of both. The finished result that I would buy and install in someone's head, no. But obviously at one point when they source it originally, yes. But the finished result, no.
It is false.
Yeah.
It's because like when they when they get the hair, obviously, it
Yeah.
originally does, but it says here there's like no follicle bulb
Oh, yeah,
on
of
it,
course.
which
Yeah.
has like the DNA
Yeah.
within it. So yes, you were right there. It was false. A single lock of Elvis Presley's hair sold at auction for over $100,000.
I absolutely believe that's true.
Yeah, it
My
is, yeah.
nana and granddad were the biggest Elvis fans ever.
Oh.
Ever. And I fully understand that people would pay that for his hair.
But we're not like talking like
a chunk.
a chunk, like a lock.
To be fair,
like,
I'd probably pay that for a lock of Justin Bieber's hair in 2010. He had the iconic Bieber cut.
wouldn't we all? Wouldn't we all?
I would pay that.
Did you see Justin Bieber live in concert at any point in your life?
I've been to every one of his tours. I am Justin Bieber's biggest fan.
Oh,
wow.
Are you still a fan?
Yes.
Still, oh,
yeah,
wow.
he did a secret gig in LA the other night for like invites only for his LA fans, and obviously I wasn't invited because I live here.
But if you were, you would have flown.
I'd have flown. Yeah,
And
I
you
tried for
would have
Coachella tickets. He's performing at Coachella this year, and like, yeah. So
yeah,
he's
you can relate.
Yeah,
is Justin Bieber the Elvis of 2026?
in my opinion. I mean, I'm not going to cause a stir in the comments, but yeah, people compare him to Michael Jackson and everything, don't they? So
yeah,
the effect he's had on the world,
yeah,
basically, more than anything.
Definitely. Some budget hair extensions are actually mixed with like animal or non-scalp hair.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. And I was like, actually, I wasn't surprised to hear that, animal hair is used.
Yeah, horse hair.
I think it was the concern over the non-scalp hair. So if it's non-scalp hair, where's it from?
Well, my head went to just like plastic hair. It didn't go to other parts of the body hair.
Well,
I think
my mind clearly did.
Yeah, I think it means like it's got synthetic hair mixed
Right.
in with human hair, because you can buy a mix.
Thanks, I'll sleep
Yeah,
well tonight.
yeah, it's not. I mean, who's growing their like leg hair that long? Like, so yeah, you can buy that absolutely.
Okay. All right, cool. Thanks for clearing that up. You can revive matted extensions by soaking them in vodka.
I can't say I've heard that before.
Okay, so this, you're right, it's false.
Yeah.
But there are, and I looked this up, there are like tutorials out there on TikTok where people are like encouraging people to do these crazy things to the hair extensions, one of which like soaking them in vodka and hair extension.
Yeah.
That's just getting the community riled on TikTok right now. And
Yeah.
hair extension specialists
Yeah.
are like, please do not
I
do
can't
that.
understand how that would work. It's alcohol, which is incredibly drying on the hair.
opposite.
And also, I would argue you couldn't really revive matted hair extensions full stop. You could revive someone's own hair matted, but if the extensions have got matted, just get a new set, babe. Like, yeah, just get a new set. Just corner it or something.
Okay, number 8. Hair extension specialists report that improper sleeping is the number one reason for hair extension matting.
I would say that's true.
Yeah.
It
is right. Yeah.
Yeah. Going to bed with it wet.
Yeah.
And then your own natural hair will get matted. Not sleeping with it in a protective hairstyle will make them extensions matted. Yeah. The number one would be going to bed with it wet is the worst thing you can do. Going to bed with your hair wet full stop is not good for your hair.
You're absolutely smashing this. I think the one so far is like just the first one about the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
Which is actually mind blowing.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll carry on. We've got 2 more. So during economic during economic downturns, hair extension sales in the UK decrease.
I don't think that's true.
You're right.
I think I remember the industry's gone up every single year for like X amount of years. It just keeps getting bigger.
It does. And it's because people are considering like their hair extensions as like a confidence necessity rather than a luxury.
Yeah.
Which I think is really nice and
Yeah.
promising for the industry that you're in.
When I did my apprenticeship, it was way back in like 2013, 2014. I remember one of my dad's friends said to me, he meant well when he said it, but he said, oh, the only thing with this career is if people start losing money, the first thing that's going to go is their luxuries, their beauty treatment. I don't think that's true anymore with the rise of like Love Island and social media and things. Like people feel like they need to have these things to keep up.
It's part of an identity, isn't it?
Yeah, especially with your hair, because it's the top of your body. It's the first thing people see. I think people really identify and have their confidence with their hair. So yeah. I thought it had gone up every year.
Good for us.
Oh yeah.
So, and last one, 9 out of 10 UK women who wear extensions lie about them being real.
Oh, I feel like I don't think that's true.
It is true.
Really? All my clients are like, oh, cheers, baby's extensions. Like, here's Ellie's number. Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to like prove the source on this one.
Yeah.
But actually, it says 90% of users go to great lengths to ensure that their bonds are invisible so they can claim that it's all natural.
Yeah. A lot of people, when they say, so my clients will sit in the chair and they'll say like, oh, I told a girl at work I was going to get my hair done tonight. And they're like, oh, what are you getting done? Like, I'm just getting my extensions refit. They'll go, oh, you've got extensions in? I didn't even know. Like, so people are open when they talk about it, but people are shocked when they find they've got them, kind of thing.
That's the real win, isn't it?
Yeah. I said, yeah, you pay a lot of money for this hair, but you don't want people to know it's not yours. Like, that's the thing. But yeah, wow, that's mad that people would lie.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I sort of understand though, from like a confidence standpoint.
Yeah,
if you're getting it, and as you've said, it's only like when prompted.
Yes, I think that's probably what I was thinking in my head.
Going, look at my hair.
Look at my hair. I just bought it. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Oh, amazing! You got basically 9 out of 10. Fantastic. Well done.
I know my stuff.
Take those back off.
Well, I clearly do my stuff. But yeah.
Yeah.
I was a bit nervous about the historic ones. I was like, oh no.
It's not supposed to be, you have to get them all right. I just love doing those. I love researching them as well. Because you just, some of the facts are just
even I learned it. The Empire State Building, that's crazy. Like, actually deep how tall that building is as well.
Yeah, I'll link it all. It's fascinating. Right, okay. We're going to get into a bit of background now.
Yes.
Let's put it way back to year 11.
Yeah.
Where you went straight out of school and into your NVQ level 2 hairdressing. So does that mean you always had a clear career path into hair, beauty?
Sort of. So we had year 10 work experience as well. I don't know if they still do that anymore, but where you could go for like a week and basically they just have you there for free. Mm-hmm. So I did that at the salon I ended up doing my apprenticeship at. And I was always torn between, don't want to go and to be a teacher or don't want to go and do hair. And they were my two career paths from year 9. Because I remember my teachers at school, I remember when I was getting towards my GCSEs, I was thinking, how am I going to get through these exams? I'm quite intelligent, but it was like the pressure of the exams and things, I feel like I'm going to be prepared for it. And then they got me through it. And then I was like, well, I'd love to do that for somebody else one day, like help them through it. But then I also really loved playing with hair. I was a very girly girl. Like, I loved it. I was the girl if you were going to a house party, I was curling everybody's hair before we went. Like, I was that person. So I did my work experience at the salon, really enjoyed it. They offered me an apprenticeship ready for like the time next year kind of thing. And then I actually started sixth form and didn't enjoy it at all. So I was like, right, I'm going to leave. Like I only lasted like a month. And I was like, I'm going to go and do this apprenticeship. And then, so I thought, right, well, I've tried the A level, I've tried the higher education. I'm going to go and focus on doing hair. Yeah. And I really did enjoy doing the apprenticeship. I really enjoyed working full time, to earn my own money and things like that. And I loved it.
Yeah.
So I did have, it was one of two paths for me, which in the end has obviously come together as one. So
don't say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's incredible. So you qualify. Mm-hmm. What happened next?
I qualified and I think it was early 2015. Mm-hmm. So the way businesses ran then was way different to what it is now. Like, social media wasn't really used for promoting businesses. It was very much like you rang, you booked an appointment. There was loads of stylists in the salon and you had to do, as a hairdresser, you had to do 10 years of being employed somewhere, build up your clientele, doing things that you don't really want to do, to then go off on your own, be self-employed, and then do what you want to do. Whereas now, anyone can just open an account on Instagram, start their own business, go and get a private training course and offer it. Yeah. But you couldn't do that then. And I didn't want to do all the other things that came with it. I had extensions since I was like 17 and I was really interested in them, but I didn't think it was a possibility for me to offer them at that point. So I was like, I don't want to do all these 10 years of setting, perming, blow drying or any of that.
So a long road in front of you.
Yeah, like, and I know some people say like your elderly clients are your bread and butter. They are 100%, but I just didn't want to be that hairdresser. So I left that and then I went to college and I did my like A-level, like I did an equivalent of an A-level instead of an actual A-level. So I had like no exams or anything. So I think that was what made a struggle for me, was the higher education, was the examination part of
you're
stuff.
More of a practical person.
Yeah, coursework, practical things like that. So I went off and did that. And then I went to uni and did sociology and education studies with the plan of becoming a secondary school teacher.
Okay. So you went down route number 2.
Yes.
Okay.
I have ADHD, by the way. Diagnosed, and this is, when I look back on my life, I think, why did this take me so long for this to get pulled up? Because I have really flitted between the two.
So were you recently diagnosed with
Yeah,
ADHD?
January 2024.
Yeah, so you've gone through all of that, not knowing, but
not
now
knowing.
it all makes sense.
I look back and every time I think about a part of my life, I think, upon reflection, it was so obvious. But I think because I think a lot of my family are also neurodivergent, we all thought that was normal. We don't know any different. So we've all gone through together, like, acting this way.
Yeah.
I think it's when you get a partner and their families doesn't act like your family, and then you're like, this is a little bit different to what I'm used to. But here I am going on a tangent. But
but it's a wonderful tangent to go on. I think there'll be a lot of people listening that will relate to that.
I do think there's a lot. I do think there's a lot of neurodivergent people in the hair and beauty industry. We need the creativity. We need the control of our schedules. We need the difference every day. I think it's very common.
Yeah, definitely. But let's go back to uni.
Yeah.
So you're at uni. I'd love to know what uni was like for you. Like, what was that experience like?
So I actually did a year at Sunderland Uni, and I wanted to live away from home. I was 20 at this point, so I was 21, so I was actually classed as a mature student.
Wow.
I know. So I didn't have that freshers week lifestyle. I didn't go out in the week anymore. I'd done all that when I was actually 18 and my friends were at uni. I was doing it with them.
Yeah.
So I had a year up here, and I just didn't really like living in the halls, away from home. So then I finished the year here, and then I moved back to Lincoln. I finished my degree in Lincoln, and I lived at home and did it. And I had a part-time job in retail on the side. Uni wasn't the centre of my world at the time. I know a lot of people, when they move away, it's their full lifestyle. They move to a new city for uni and they study, and then they go out and do all the socials and they do everything like that. That wasn't the case for me. Yeah. I was there 16 hours a week. I just went there, did my stuff and came away. And that's when, on the side of doing uni, that's when I started dabbling back in with hair again.
So was that your first experience of the Northeast then? So it was a university that brought you from Lincoln to Sunderland?
Sort of. So my now husband is from here.
Right.
He's from Gateshead, and we have a mutual friend. So my friend from Lincoln went to uni with my husband in Sunderland, and I bumped into said friend on a night out, and then they were like, oh my God, let's go up to Newcastle for the weekend. We'll go for a night out. Lincoln were actually playing Gateshead in the football match. So we were like, let's go and watch the football and we'll go on night after. He said, I'll text Matty, who's now my husband, and was like, we'll get him to come out and bring all the lads out and we'll have a really good time. And then me and my best friend came up here on that night out, and I met Matty.
That's how you met Matty.
And that's how I met Matty. And then we'd been together about just under a year. Then I was like, I'm gonna try uni up here because I'll be nearer to you. But because we wasn't at the stage where we were buying a house or renting a house together, we'd not long been together. So I didn't want to move in with him straight away, and he wasn't ready to move out or anything like that. So that's when was in the halls, and I was like, oh, this life's not for me. Yeah. So then I moved back to Lincoln, and then he actually got a job in Lincoln and came with me. Yeah. Eventually. So
that's a very similar story to me, actually.
Is it?
So I went to uni when I was 18, granted, in Durham, but I was in a relationship with my now husband, Lewis, and he was at Newcastle. Yeah. And I got put in the halls. The halls was not for me.
No.
I absolutely hated it.
Same.
I stuck it out, and I did live, in and around the university, but I was there for university. I came home on weekends. Yeah. And, was with my family with Lewis. I just but I think, it's a different experience for everyone. And that's why I wanted to ask about it.
Yeah.
Today. That's really interesting. So, you were always doing hair along the sidelines of university, and in 2020 you shifted gear again and quit your retail job. Is that right?
Yes.
Good. So was that pandemic orientated, or was it because you knew you wanted to go all in on hair?
Not pandemic related. It was in fact the worst timing ever possible. Where I'm from originally, Lincoln as a city is about 5 years behind the major cities in terms of things that are happening around there. So there was makeup artists in the area, but there was no one offering pin curls, bouncy blow dries and that kind of thing. And I was like, but Manchester had it, Newcastle had it, Liverpool had it. And I was like, well, I could do it. Yeah. Extra bit money on the side.
There's people in Lincoln that want a bouncy blow dry.
Yeah, well, there was as well. And all the girlies are and they're saying because a lot of the hairdressers weren't offering them smaller services because they want to get the colouring service and the more money makers. So started doing that on the side, and then I was like, well, I'm really enjoying this again, actually. But £20 blow dries aren't going to pay the bills. They're not going to, so what can I do instead? And I was literally wearing extensions at the time, non-stop from 17. So I was like, why did I train in hair extensions? So then I trained in the July of 2019, and then just went all in with it alongside uni and retail. And then in the February of 2020, that's when I was like, I need the 12 hours I had in retail, or 16 hours, whatever it was, plus overtime. I needed 3 because I couldn't take any more clients on. So I was like, I'm going to hand my notice in and I'm going to fill that time up with clients. Yeah. And then 2 weeks later, we went into lockdown. I didn't know that was coming.
Right, so that decision was made. Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Very, very bad timing. I just left the retail job. So
that's really interesting. And I will get into like how on earth did you build a clientele during the pandemic, right? We will get into that. But I just want to highlight something that's so inspiring to listen to, that you've had several twists and turns.
Yeah.
But nothing's like held you back.
No.
Doing that.
Yeah, no.
Have you just always been in that mindset of like, I'm just, if I feel like something's right, I'm gonna do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing's embarrassing for me.
Yeah.
Nothing. Like, even in like lockdown, off tangent, I did like a YouTube channel for a bit. I was like, I just want to do YouTube. So I just did it.
I've given that a go as
well.
well.
I've done it. Yeah.
It didn't last for very long for me.
No, I can't be asked to edit everything. Like, I need a team like these to do it. Like, I love doing the yapping on camera, but I was like, I can't go edit this video now. I was like an hour worth of footage. Yeah. But nothing's embarrassing to me. I just think like and that's not in like in a snotty way. It's more like I want this. Like, why does it matter what anyone else is saying? Yeah. Like in that kind of way.
But there's a huge takeaway in that. I know it's easier said than done. Then it's like, stop worrying about what other people think. But I think if it feels right to you, just do it.
Just do it. Yeah. Like, I don't want to get to the end of your life and wish you'd done something. I know that's so cliche, but it's so true. Like, I don't want to look back and be like, oh, I wish I'd just done that. But I was so scared of what them 3 people from school were going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think especially at a younger age that can definitely
100%.
I feel like as you get older you do get more like
and don't get me wrong, there were still days where my mindset will be in the gutter and I'm like, oh, I can't do it. Like, that happens, but the bigger picture is like, if I want it, I'll just do it. Yeah.
Fab. I love that. Good advice. So you successfully establish your self in Lincoln, and then you moved up north. 2.5 hours away. Like, we've kind of covered what led to this, but like, how did you feel initially about that move?
So it was obviously at the back end of the pandemic when my now husband had to move back for his job. His job was changing. Okay. So like, he had a job in Lincoln and then that company were making changes and then they were like, we encourage you to apply for other roles, and there was a role up here. So he obviously would apply for it. Can't blame him. And then I finished my degree. So we lived apart again. Yeah. So from like October 2020 till about September 2021, we lived apart. I got like a little flat in Lincoln while I finished my degree. And then obviously he moved back here. Initially, I was really excited to start a life up here because there's so much more going on in Newcastle or like Gateshead area than there is in Lincoln. Like I say, the shopping's better, the lifestyle's better. So the beach is there. We were just saying that before, weren't we? But I was also then thinking, I think now I'm over it. I can't remember a lot of the anxiety, but I know for a fact I will have laid there at night being like, how the hell am I going to do this? Like, how am I going to move everybody into transition smoothly over? Yes. And then also like, how am I going to land on my feet up here when I know no one? Like, where am I going to get that first client from? Like, what's going to happen? So there was a lot of anxiety, definitely.
Okay. And sorry to jump back because I've realised like I've brought us to the northeast.
Yeah.
But I didn't get to ask you and get you to answer that question of like, what were you doing during the pandemic?
Yeah.
That was, building up your clientele for a successful launch. I think it was April 2021, I think, wasn't it, when everything sort of reopened again?
Fully, yes, but we did go back around July 2020 for a few months. We went into lockdown in March, opened again in July, but we were back in lockdown again for the winter, weren't we?
So, but what were you doing? Sitting at home, you can't, see anyone, see any clients. Like, what were you doing with your time?
I was showing up on social media, nearly every day. Like, I remember I had a lot of content like from previous clients that I'd done in the run up to it. I'd taken loads of before and after pictures and like videos and all that kind of thing. And I remember posting my last one and being like, this is my last photo in my camera roll now. I don't have anything, because now you can post, I think social media's changed since 2020. We post a lot more personal stuff than we used to. Yeah. But I remember posting my last transformation and being like, I've got no more feed posts to do now. I remember trying to do like giveaways for when we came back, like to keep myself visible on there. I was doing like polls on my stories to be like, what we all doing? Like, what we all doing today? Like, are you in the garden? Have you had your 20-minute walk? Like, are you one walk a day? Like, I was basically being present and visible on social media as much as I could, because then I was in the forefront of people's minds when we did come back, and people came to me that we didn't even come to before the lockdown. They chose to come to me rather than going somewhere else or whatever. So
it was worth it. I mean, we all know the power of social media today.
Yeah.
But I think actually what you were doing, you
Yeah.
might not have known it at the time,
Yeah.
but it was a really smart thing to do.
Yeah. I did it because I loved my clients and I missed them, and I wanted, and I was doing it because I loved what I did. But upon reflection, it definitely was a very smart thing to do. Yeah, defo.
100%. So, you set up the two separate businesses. How did you like navigate and like manage those two businesses because of the like distance between them?
Yeah, so I remember my moving like date to come up here properly was like the start of September, but obviously because we'd bought a house, we didn't have a move-in date. We were waiting for completion solicit. You know how it is, awful. So we didn't actually move into our own house until the start of December. So we was living at Matty's parents, which out of boxes, which again obviously is very stressful on top of trying to do all this. Obviously we're very lucky because we got to live there. But I remember the weeks before the move, obviously if I was in Lincoln all the time, I'd see like 2 people on a Tuesday, 2 people on a Wednesday, 2 people on a Friday after. It'd be very scattered. I had to get everybody condensed into 1 week a month. So when I went down, I got everybody done. And because extension services you have them every 8 weeks typically. So I had client set A and client set B. So for example, my September week, client set A, I'd then see them in November. Client set B,
of how I
would see them in October and December.
Maintenance.
So I see the clientele bi-monthly, but I'm down monthly because I've got 2. So I still do that now. So I was like, when I was rebooking the people in for their next refit, when I was after that move, I was like, this is the week I'm back. It might end up only being 6 weeks this time, or it might end up being 9 weeks this time. Just please be really, really careful and stick with me here. And then because I'd built up quite a good reputation in Lincoln, because like I said, it was 5 years behind everywhere else. I was one of the first real extension techs in the area that just specialised in extensions. People were booking in with me and they didn't care that I weren't there any of the time of the month. They were like, that's a week she's there, I'm booking in, I'm fitting in, I'm getting in kind of thing. And then when I moved up here, so like I said, I moved up officially on like the start of September, but from sort of like mid-July, when I was posting my work that I took in Lincoln, I was pretending it was here. So I was like tagging that I was in Newcastle.
So
like
smart.
Yeah, so I was like, like the geotag on a post where you can put like Newcastle or South Shields or wherever. I was putting that. And then so people would see the work, and then I wasn't like lying to pretend it was a client I'd done here. I was just explaining what I'd done, but like tagging the area that I was here. And then I started doing a model call, like for a content call for like 4 to 6 weeks before that. And then my first day in my salon, I had all the consultations booked in to go. And then obviously there's
a whole like strategic plan.
I had to start because I couldn't do it from Matty's mum and dad's house, obviously, and then even the house we moved into now, really, there's not really where I could have done it from there because it's our first home. It's quite a small house. I had to go in a salon and rent a chair, and I had no clients. So luckily, my first ever salon that I worked in here, though, she was really understanding. She was like, she actually approached me and said, we found you on social media, like, are you looking to rent a chair? So obviously what I was doing was working, because she even found me. We said, we've got a chair available if you'd like it. I explained my situation. She was like, no, that's fine. We can just do like pay for the days that you do.
That's
and
good,
then obviously reassess it in a few months' time and stuff. It was a little bit further away from where I live. So I did end up moving to a salon nearby, like a few months later. But yeah, I basically just started posting like I was already here before I was here to get the ball rolling with that.
That's sort of covered my next question, which I wanted to make sure that we did cover, how you build up a reputation and build up a clientele from scratch. Now you've kind of given away that trade secret there of like you were posting in a geotag, but like, is there anything else like that you would advise doing when building a clientele and building your reputation from scratch?
So I obviously, it's a unique situation because I did have a portfolio of work from Lincoln, but I knew no one here. Like I knew Matty's parents and like a couple of his like friends, partners and stuff. Like I knew no one. Like I didn't have any connections. Whereas when I started in Lincoln, like I could ask 10 people immediately to either come and book in or share. So the biggest thing that helped me alongside the geotagging and things like that is you have to go out there and interact and find people as well. So you can't just wait for them to come to you and find your page and stumble across your page. You need to go out there, get clear on who you want to sat in your chair, like what do they do for a living, or like are they a student, are they a mum, are they like
ideal customer
that you want. Get your ideal customer, and then think about where they're going to be hanging out and go and find them online. So if there's a brand new cafe open that sells matcha, I know my ideal client's going to be there because the matcha girlies post their stuff online. That's my ideal client because they're going to be posting their hair, they're going to be posting themselves, like their selfies, they're going to be, things like that. So I went on them matcha cafe restaurants, for example. I went on their following.
Not a bad place to go and do your research.
No, exactly. And then went all down their following, followed them, or people that do similar treatments, like not obviously other hair pages. I would never be following their followers because that would be poaching. But aesthetics, for example, a lot of my ideal client, they're probably spending a lot of money on themselves because extensions are an expensive service. So aesthetics places, I'll connect with their audience and things like that.
It's the same industry as a whole. So people investing in themselves.
But basically going out and finding people and connecting with them, that's the best way. You can't expect people to come and land on your page. You need to go out and find them.
Yeah, I mean, we do talk a lot about social media and the power of that, and it is so powerful. But there's nothing better than like human connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do. Yeah.
Definitely. And then when I did start getting clients in and started building that, I said to people, they're doing that human connection in their workplaces. Like I don't know them people to give them that human connection, but my client is then going to work and being like, look at my hair, like this girl did it, and then like send them my way,
Yeah,
so
got you. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, and I'd say, and I did like a referral scheme, things like that. So that, and then that also incentivizes people.
What would you say the biggest lesson is, or unexpected challenge that you found from building up your reputation from scratch?
Biggest challenge, I would say I'm quite an impatient person. I want stuff yesterday. So I think trusting that, because when I look back at it now, I'm like, oh wow, like it's amazing. I've done it all. But like at the time, it felt like it was never. I felt like I was in the trenches. I was like, this is not getting any better. This is not, you don't wake up and suddenly have 10 new clients, but in a year's time you look back and you're like, wow, I've got like 15 people that are in now. So I remember thinking, like, I remember ringing my mom and being like, because basically we're on like with my car insurance is through like a fleet insurance, so we can all drive each other's cars basically. So I remember ringing her up and saying, can I do Uber Eats on my insurance? Because I think I need to do something else with my time at the same time. And she was like, I'll speak to them and let you know, because it's a business thing. I don't know if you can or not. And I never did it. I just like, but when I had that down moment,
but that shows you've hit the, you've had doubt.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And I was like, maybe I need to go to Lincoln for 10 days at a time rather than 5 days at a time, so I can have more time there and build that up or whatever. I didn't do the Uber Eats. I didn't do 10 days at a time. I just, annoying as impatient as I am, you just have to trust what you're doing is right. Small actions every day will lead to that big momentum. Like I always say to my students now, like, you could post for 10 days in a row and have no inquiries, but on the 11th day you would get 3. You wouldn't get them 3 without them 10 days before. So yeah,
it's a similar thing at Styler, and I've literally like plotted out on a graph when inquiries come in and like when leads come in, and there's just no, it's chaos. Yeah, it's organized chaos somehow in the universe, but like you can go through a week and have no inquiries, and then you've got 2 on one day, 10 the next. It's just random.
There's times of year with hair, obviously busy at Christmas is obviously busier, January is obviously quieter, things like that. But generally speaking, it is, you just need to be consistent, which is so annoying.
Now, before we talk in more depth about your training academy, I wanted to ask you today a little bit about the difference between like hairdressing and hair extensions. Now, you mentioned at the start you kind of knew that you didn't want to, cut Peggy Sue's hair.
God bless her.
God bless her. But like, so you're in hair extensions now, like, and that's what you specialise in. What was it specifically that drew you into this niche over saying specialising in colour or cutting, things like that?
So when I initially left my apprenticeship or finished my apprenticeship, I actually did another add-on for like one night a week for like 12 weeks in barbering. I really enjoyed barbering.
Full of surprises.
I know. My first job was a Saturday girl in a barber's. The woman who owned that barber, she's amazing. She would have she'd have 4 people in, so 15-minute slots. She'd have people booked in for in, out, done, like, and she was turning them over. And it was the thing with that in that service, what I saw was fun, was like they were in, they were out, they were done. And the extensions wasn't even an option at that point in my life. It was like men's hairdressing or women's hairdressing.
Okay.
And the men's hairdressing was like they were in, they had a laugh and they left. And whereas the women's hairdressing, it can be quite quite a heavy place to be. They put a lot of, people can sometimes put trauma dump on you and things like that. So I was a bit like, oh, maybe I'll go into barbering. And then I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I'm going to leave it now forever. The colouring side of it for me gave me a little bit of anxiety, like working with the chemicals. Like, yes, I've had all the training and stuff, but just gave me that anxiety. I was like, sometimes it's just not going to go how you want it to go.
Didn't feel right.
Didn't feel right. And then the cutting, I think now you can probably make a career off just cutting, but I think back in that time you had to be a jack of all trades to get a full clientele.
Yes.
And I didn't want to do all that. And then I was wearing extensions all the time. I had them in and in my head, they were literally there the whole time and I didn't even think about a career in them. And then I had a few bad experiences with extensions myself. And I was like, well, if I train in extensions and 3 people are in my chair, that's 3 people that are getting their hair looked after and not going to someone who's just going to ruin it or just grab their money and block them. I think it was the anxiety of colouring that made me not want to carry on doing it. And at the time of my life when I did the training, you had to do everything for like 10 years to then get where you want to be. And I didn't want to do all that bit first. Yeah. So that's why I closed the door on it. I think now when you leave college after doing your MVQ, I think you can kind of specialise quicker. But back then without social media, you couldn't. You had to just do everything and build your reputation up offline, whereas now you can build a reputation online instead. So that's what led me to that, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really interesting. But something you said there is that you experienced the problem of having a bad set of hair extensions. And I honestly think the best businesses are rooted in experiencing that problem.
Yeah, and that's why the academy is a thing as well, because I think a lot of the bad extensions come from bad training. Yeah, it's like I've the same messages come up again when I've got into this side of the business too. But the bad hair extensions, like wrong method fitted for me. My hair's been snapped, broken, damaged. I've had people would fit the extensions and then they only want the initial money from the fitting. They don't want to do the refit, the work that comes after, which I don't understand, because you've got a returning client for a year now. I don't get, now I do it. I'm like, I don't get why you want to do that. So I was like, do you know what? I really like having these done, and I really enjoyed, I was really interested in them. It sounds really, when I was getting them done, I was enjoying talking to the person about them at the time. Yeah. And I was like, well, I could do it. Yeah. I could have 3 people in my chair who gets their hair looked after, and then it's kind of turned into quite a few more than 3 people. But yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Now, what you do in your training is that, you help people get fully booked and have a premium clientele. But before we do that, I do want to play devil's advocate, similar to what we were just saying about, you do have salons that they do barbering, they do hair, they do nails, they do everything under the sun. Yeah. You might look at that menu of services and going, there's so much opportunity here to earn money because it's so versatile. You have really honed into a niche. And I guess my specific question is what is the power of having a niche over, a variety of services?
Yeah. So I think having a salon with everything in is quite good, because obviously different people, but one person doing everything, I think, can be very confusing for people. And can you truly be the best at something if you're doing something times 8 of something, 8 different things? Can you really be the best at it? I don't think so. I think if you want to be the best at something, it's better to niche right down. I see a lot of, when I'm talking to people in this industry, the extensions aren't going too well, I'm going to train in nails. And I'm like, so what makes you think the nails are going to do better? For example, what are you going to do different then with the nails? And they think it's because of the price. It's not because of the price. It's because of the way you're selling it, or not selling it, should I say. But I think niching down builds trust with people. I think the way people shop in the beauty and the hair industry has changed a lot in the last few years, especially. I think we used to very much go to one person that did everything, but I think people like to go to, they've got a brow girl, they've got a lash girl, they've got a waxing girl, they've got a skin girl, they've got a colourist, they've got a hair extension tech, they've got a nail girl or whatever. People go to different people for different things.
Because they're investing in the human connection today.
Yeah, 100% exactly. And they like to, and I think a lot of people like that human connection side of it. And they like to, I think people like to also, they feel good when we shop small, and they like, I think it makes us feel good when we do that, I think as well. So I think people trust a niche more. I think like nowadays, especially more so than like the saying jack of all trades, master of none. I know there's more to that quote than just that bit, but that's the bit that gets quoted a lot, isn't it? I think niching down allows you to speak to a person, speak to an audience better as well. I think when you're trying to speak to everyone, you speak to no one. So I think niching down really helps with that. It helps build trust, because then you can really have like deep level knowledge on one thing rather than mid-level knowledge on 8 things. Does that make sense?
100%. Yeah, you've totally validated your response there.
Yeah.
I thought you would go down that line, but I think it's important too, especially for new people in the industry coming through. It's very easy to flip.
And I did do it a little bit when I first when I first did that move up here. I was like, right, I'm going to add another service on to get my
but
books
look at
full.
where you are now. Like, and
then that didn't work. Shock. So I was like, no, I'm going to be the best at this instead of being okay at all of these. I'm going to be the best at this instead, like extension, like nanos instead or whatever. So
awesome. So in 2024 was when you opened your ELRAE Training Academy.
Yeah.
Tell us more about the strategy to like opening this branch of the business from delivering just services to going into education.
So like I said, I did my degree in education studies, and which is obviously more like school led, like curriculum, and sociology, which is a study of society, which is I find so interesting anyway. Like, so that was always a bit of me. So I like observe social trends quite a lot, and I find that really interesting. And then that kind of leads into kind of like even like psychology a little bit, like biopsychology, cell psychology and things like that. So I always had this thing in my head of like wanting to teach and like talk and like how and like lead almost maybe. I think I wanted that in, like I've always wanted that.
That's been rooted from, I mean, it was always teaching or hair.
It's always been there, definitely. So I had a lot of comments on my TikTok account of people, because TikTok is a really great visibility platform. That's probably its main purpose for me. I don't think selling on there works as well. I think visibility on there. So people across the country were seeing my stuff, and I was posting educational TikToks and helpful stuff and personal brand and all the stuff that we're supposed to post. People were commenting saying like, do you do courses? Like, I want to learn with you. Like, do you offer hair extension courses? And I'd kind of dabbled in and out of like a coaching situation, but I hadn't done it properly. I didn't know what I was doing. So I was like, I wanted to do, maybe I do want to do teaching, but like, where do I get a kit from? Like, all these things were holding me back. Upon reflection, do your research, babe. You could have just got the answer way sooner. But I was like, I don't know where to get a kit from. Like,
have a chat with ChatGPT.
Yeah, literally. Like, I could have, because obviously people gatekeep as well. Like the people in the educators, I'm not going to message and be like, hi, where's your kit from? They're not going to tell me. So I had them messages, and I was like, I'm going to have, people are asking me. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And then that's what I did.
Fantastic.
I thought someone just did it.
Yeah, fantastic. So today, like, where is your training academy actually based?
So it's between the two locations still. Yeah. So I train in the northeast, South Tyneside mainly, and then in Lincoln as well.
Yeah.
So when I go down to Lincoln, I'll book training days in there. Because I teach students from all over the country, they travel, and Lincoln is very central in the country. When you're looking at it on a map, really, East Midlands is quite central. So it's quite a bit easier for people travelling to come to Lincoln from there, really. But I do have like students from up here, or Scotland, or come down here and stuff like that.
Wow, yeah, I was going to say, like, what's the furthest someone's travelled?
I've had someone flying from Ireland.
To get on a flight.
Yeah.
Exactly. Must be in business.
And then I've had like someone from Dorset drive up to Lincoln, which is about a 5-hour trip, I think. So yeah.
Wow, well done you. What is your favourite way to educate, and why? So like one-to-one, or like do you prefer the workshops, masterclasses?
I do prefer one-to-one. I did start doing group courses when I first launched the academy. When I say group, maximum was 5. I'd have a starting headache after them. Like I was like, this is hard, because if you had 5 people in the room, because I can teach hairdressers and complete beginners. I think with extensions, some training academies will disagree, but I think there's not many stuff that crosses over with hairdressing and hair extensions. There's a few, but you can learn the extensions without knowing the hairdressing qualification first. So you could have a training group. I could have 5 students in there. One's a hairdresser. One's a 19-year-old fresh out of like sixth form. One is in their 50s and they've done hair 20 years ago and they're coming back to it. One is like a 9-to-5er, and then, you know, so they're all going to learn at completely different paces. Yeah. They've all got different needs. They've all got different learning styles, which I learned again in my degree. Like, people learn in different ways. I found the group courses quite hard, and that was only 5. So how these big training like centres do 20 plus students in one day, I do. Yeah, like cash grab, I'm guessing. But like, it was so, So I then did a niche right down to the one-to-ones. A lot of people were saying, I prefer to go one-to-one anyway. And I was like, yeah, okay, that's fine. People are asking for one-to-one anyway. And what I like about the one-to-one, it's because I can tailor it to each individual person. So if they're already a hairdresser, we can go through more like business stuff. If they're a complete beginner, I can help them launch their business on that day. I can get them their model course set up with them. I can do things like that. So one-to-one for me is my favourite way of teaching.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Now, but you do teach people more than just, you know, the practical application of hair extensions. You actually teach them how to strategize and build that fully booked look, but with premium clientele. So looking into like the pricing and profitability, things like that.
Yeah.
What are like high level, because I know you do like full courses on this, but high level, what are the top 3 ways people can do this, get fully booked with a premium clientele?
So the first thing that I would always say, if you want a high vibe, a high like clientele, we don't want like the bargain hunters, stop leading with like pricing, discounts, offers. Never use the word free ever. Like, it used to work. I don't think it works now. I think I go against the grain when I say that. Like, leading with discounts, because I get it again now in my TikTok comments and my DMs. I'm doing a free model call. Like, why aren't I getting clients? I'm like, that's why. Like, people don't trust it when it's the clients that you want, them high like premium clients. They're used to paying money for a service. So when it's suddenly free, they don't trust it. Like, so they're not going to book in with it. The people that will book in are the ones that are just going to hop to the next free model call after this one's run out. So never lead with price. There's so many more things you can lead with than the price, which my next point would be, make it really clear, communicate really clear how you solve somebody's problem. So what every single person that sits in your chair for a consultation, for hair extensions in particular, wants them for a reason. We don't just roll out of bed and have 400 quid, 500 quid spare to go and get our hair done. Like, they want them for a reason, whether that be thickness, length, colour, etc., volume. Whatever that problem is that you've got to a solution at the point of fitting, because you've decided how many grams they need, decided what shade they need, what method they have, what length they have. So you've come to a solution to solve that person's problem. Talk about that solution. People relate so much more reading how you help somebody whose hair never grew past a certain length, rather than reading 160 grams double drawn Russian hair shade 1B. Like, no one knows what that means. The average person is not going to care about what that means, but they will care that they'll see, oh, that client had postpartum hair loss. They never got their hair back fully. I've gone through that. I never thought about getting extensions, but that's literally made me think I never even thought about getting them, but I can.
Based on a story,
So tell a story and how you've solved that problem. And then I would say the third thing as well is, like, this is a bit of a random one, but like, don't make yourself too available. Like, I used to do this all the time as well. Like, I've learned from my mistake too. Being available all the time does not create urgency. So here's my availability. People are like, I'll just book in later then because she's got loads of availability. Where it's like, I'm opening a small number of spaces this month. Even just the wording with things just makes things so much like better. Like, I'm opening a small number of consultation spaces this month for clients who want to achieve X, Y, and Z. Like, that is what I would say. So don't be too available. Even if you are really available, you don't have to say you are. Like,
that's the thing I think that people don't quite understand, is that you know, they can restrict their availability initially, or at least present it to like put out there to get the 5 people that really want it, because the 5 people that really want it will come to you. So it's like high value clients as well.
Present it as limited, but if they need to wiggle when they're in the DMs, wiggle them then, like, and then be like, I can actually do like 7 o'clock that night if you want it, but like, you don't have to say that on publicly.
Okay. So that transitions nicely into talking about your availability. And you started using Styler, I'm going to say like a year and a half?
At least a year,
year and a
at
half
least a year
now?
ago, yeah.
Like, how has that sort of changed how you present your availability and get people booked in?
I'm a little bit of a control freak still with it. I won't have my full availability on there.
Yeah.
I will always speak to people first and then open the availability up. I like that little bit of control, especially with my services, because a refit can be 2 hours and a consultation is 15 minutes. If I've got 3 hours spare and someone books a consultation like smack bang in the middle of that, I then can't do a refit. So I'm a little bit of a control freak with that. But then that's also a bonus because they don't go on my booking system and see like 9, 10, 11, 12,
Yeah.
1, and they're like, oh,
But we allow you to set that, right?
Yes,
so it has that flexibility.
Yeah. So what I'll then do is I'll then open it for the person when they, and then they can pick from there kind of thing. Like, or I do when I go to Lincoln, what I do is I'll set the days for Lincoln because it's such a niche, like small part of my diary anyway. So that's when I'll open them up and I'll say, right, these are your slots, like, and then I can close it when I need to. And I like having that. It's helped with the availability because if it isn't there, you ain't having it, and I'm not answering either, like, and I'm not doing it. So like Lincoln's, I'm a bit more relaxed with it with Lincoln. I'll like open it up, but no one ever leaves my chair without rebooking anyway. So
fair.
One of the lessons inside my new group program, Booked and Bossed, which helps,
love the name.
Booked and Bossed, which helps hair extension techs get an extra 5+ clients a week. We're getting them, fully booked. We're getting them that extra, I don't know, £1,000 a week, whatever it might be that they want to achieve, is actually all about booking systems and the importance of having a booking system, because I do think it's a non-negotiable in this day and age.
You.
So, and always, especially supporting a woman-owned Northeast business. That's why I chose Styler.
Cheer.
So let's switch this around to get your thoughts, if that's okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
So
Take a drink before.
Yes, I'll do that too. Cheers to that. So what problems does having a booking system like actually solve, have you found when you've been speaking to people who use Styler?
I think the obvious one is time, right? The pain point that I see is people responding to DMs constantly after a long work day. A good booking system will try and remove that by automating your bookings. So that's from them actually, going on a link or on their own app and making a booking. But then there's so much more to it. It's like they'll then get a booking confirmation. They'll then get 2 booking reminders. Taking the deposit will be automated. And the amount of people I speak to where all of these are manual tasks within their business, it's crazy, and it is taking up so much of their time. But I feel like that's the obvious answer. I feel there's 2 other things that we do or a booking system can help with. And it's through actually like connectivity and connection like with your clients. So if you offer a good way for a client to book and they're getting good communication, automated of course from you, from the business, about their upcoming booking, it builds more trust. And a lot of beauty business owners that I speak to, salon owners, they come to me and say, oh, my clients never take me seriously. And it's hard to hear, but it's a big statement to say a booking system can solve that. But I think it does add that level of, professionalism to the business, because you should have all of your terms and conditions out there. I'm sure you teach a lot about that.
Yeah.
But a place where all of those can be, read and understood clearly, rather than, if you could just pay this deposit, please, thank you.
Yeah.
It just does it.
I think having a booking system can separate the hobbyists from the business.
Business owners.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So how do you think a booking system brings people more clients?
So this is an interesting one, right? And people need to understand that there's lots of different kinds of booking systems, right? And not all of them will bring you more clients. I'll start with the most obvious one, and where new salon owners usually start is that they might use like Google Calendar, right? And that solves that problem of, putting the booking into the calendar. It's all done manually, but that's certainly not going to bring you new clients. The most popular method is by going on a marketplace. So you're like sort of Freshers, Booksies, Treatwells, and you are listed as a business amongst all of the other businesses on that platform in the area. And yes, if your clients have the Fresher app, they will see you amongst those other businesses. So they advertise themselves potentially as free, but then they will see them, they will take a commission because they have brought you that client. So you have to be aware of that. It can be good in the early days if you want to build a clientele. I think the sweet spot is more of an operating system where it's essentially more than a booking system. It's like a client management platform so that you can keep on top of, you know, who your clients are, how they're being communicated to. Perhaps you might have different elements of your business, like yourself, Ellie. You've got your courses, you might have products. Having a central system that is going to have every element about your business. Say a client downloads your app, it's fully branded to you, that it's again helping with that trust and that customer retention. Like, you want that customer to come back. So like at Styler, if they book through your app, you can send them push notifications. It's not necessarily bringing you new clients, but it's about retaining the loyal clients who are good to you.
Yeah. And I also think with the app as well, the apps that you can have made with Styler, which is such a great idea, people, on that thing about that community, people like to be a part of something. So if the salon or the person they go to has an app, it's like, oh, I'm part of like
a community.
And then people are like, well, I want to go to a salon that's got an app. Like, that's well cool. Like, I just, even things like that, I think that does play a massive part in it.
Yeah.
Like, having that, it kind of gives this accident. There's no community aspect on the app in the sense that people can't chat to each other, but it gives that feel to something that other places might not have.
Yeah, I think it works in the industry today because the industry is so heavily centered around it. For sure.
Yeah, definitely. So how much money are people losing without a booking system? Dare I even ask the question?
You can't put a number on it. Obviously, it varies. There's two different ways you can look at it. So if you think about how much your time is worth and how much you're spending on admin, you'll get your answer as to how much you're losing. Like, for example, like there's a stat that 57% of bookings are made outside of working hours.
Yeah.
So if you haven't got a booking system in place, that's over half your clients messaging you 11 p.m. at night and you going on. And although you're not physically standing behind the chair at work, that is still work.
Yes.
And that's costing you money.
Prices,
you know? I guess the second way you could think about it is how much money you could be losing from those clients who cancel, clients who don't show up. And that's why you need the policies in place. It is found just from one, client, if they're a no-show, if they're regularly not showing up, a salon could be losing £5,000 to £10,000 a year purely off of no-shows and cancellations. That's why you need a system in place to protect your revenue.
Yeah, income protection's massive. I think as well, again, with that, back to that high value clients that we spoke about previously, like, they don't have an issue paying deposits. They don't have an issue with policies and income protection. Serious clients won't mind. So I do think it also helps filter out them clients that are going to mess you around and going to not turn up and cancel late and things like that. So how much should people really be paying for a booking system? Because you go on Google and there is just they'll advertise it as free, but it isn't. And then should people be paying a set fee? Should they be paying percentages? Should they be paying both? How do you think, what should people be paying? What's the go-to?
So the answer is that it varies, but I feel strongly that there should be a price for everyone and that it should be a set price as well. We're all small business owners, right? And it's important, you might teach this yourself, but it's important to know what your income is and also what your outgoings are. And that's why I don't believe in the model of the, commission-based or usage-based pricing. So I believe in those two things. You have the advertised as free, but either they're pretending to be free and they're not, or they're just not scalable in your business. Google Calendar's free, right? So if you want a free system, use Google Calendar. It's not going to last you very long.
No.
At Styler, we have plans that range from £30 up to £100 plus, and it purely depends on what you need. The £30 a month is more than enough to automate and save you time. But we do have a branded booking app option for those businesses who do want to enhance their brand, who do want that professional, branded app on the App Store.
So it just depends on the budget they've got in the first place, but you think a model per month is better than the...
Yeah.
I agree, because 1 month you could be... you wouldn't know what your figures are, because if you have a better month, you'll pay more in the fees.
Yeah.
Whereas if you've got one set fee coming out a month, which is why I do love Styler, I know exactly what's coming out in the bank at the end of the month.
I had someone tell me that during the busy period, I think a certain marketplace charged them like £400. And whilst it was their busiest month, it was not the most profitable because of the amount of commission fees that they paid.
Yeah, and then some of the marketplace ones, I've known it happen where if you get a client booking through marketplace and they no-show, the marketplace still takes that cut. So you're not, and then you're really without pocket then, like you've really lost out on money. So
and then that problem that we originally try and solve of time, of like automating the reminders. So if you are on a usage-based plan and you can only send 100 reminder texts, then you're then watching the bank balance again.
Yes,
so
massively.
It's huge. And so I feel very passionate about a set monthly fee and something that's affordable for everyone.
And as someone who's switched from the percentage to the monthly fee, I thought it's much better. Yeah, I know exactly what's coming out. I know what's going in. I don't have to top up my balance to pay for texts, for reminders and things. It's just done on the emails and it's all good to go.
And overall, just to bring it full circle, if you think about how much time and money you're losing on admin, say you paid for a receptionist, right? It would be a lot more money than £30 a month.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of value to be had, but there is that, there is something for everyone.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Was that useful?
Very useful. Yes. Thank you so much for answering those questions for me. I think that was so helpful.
Fab.
Thank you.
We're going to switch it back. Still talk about pricing.
Okay.
But I want to talk about pricing in the hair extension industry. So what common mistakes do you see from hair extension specialists when they're starting out in pricing? Touched
on it before, but it's that free model call, free fitting, or and leading with that, the word free just gives me the ick. Now, I don't think you should be offering free anything, but if you're going to offer free, at least say the word complimentary. It just sounds better.
Oh, yeah.
But like complimentary fitting, but I wouldn't even do that then for many, many reasons. And I say this in all my training courses when I'm teaching beginners. There's many reasons why free fitting doesn't work. Previously spoke about it, but it attracts strong type of clients, the bargain hunter clients. They will just jump to the next free fitting. They're not going to stay with you long term. And I know this because when I've done it, I don't have them clients, where I've still got clients that are coming to me from 2019 who never were a free fitting client. So, proof's in the pudding. I've done it. I've done it up here. I've done it in Lincoln. I've done it multiple times. The type of clients that we do actually want, them high value, them clients that will pay, they will be scared off by free fitting, because if they see something that's usually £500-600 and it's suddenly free, or like the hair cost is like £200-300, they're going to be like, I don't trust that. Why is it so cheap? It's too good to be true. I don't trust that at all. The other reason that free fitting doesn't work is because it's actually going to cost you something to fit the extension. So the beads cost you money, the threader costs you money, the weft thread costs you money, the tape tabs cost you money. Even without your time, all them things still cost money. So at the very, very least, you should be adding on the cost of them. And yes, the fitting's still technically free, but there's so many more things we can lead in rather than the price. So I think the biggest pricing mistake I see beginners do is free fitting. I'm not saying charge the same as someone who's been in the game 10 years, because you haven't got them 10 years of experience. But what I say instead is do a price list on what you want to charge, and then put an offer on from there. If you start from zero, from free fitting, and you get no clients, what are you going to do then? You can't go any lower. You can't buy someone's hair for them. So do your price list, put an offer on. If you need to discount it a little bit further, you can do. But again, don't lead with that. Just quote somebody in the DMs or something instead, I'll give you an extra 10% off if you book in with me next couple of weeks, or something like that, like create a bit of urgency or whatever. But yeah, I think starting from the zero, it's going to be so much harder for you to then put your price up later as well, because you're going to be scared to lose them clients that you got when you were cheap.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Fantastic advice. I love it.
People pay money for that advice, by the way, on my courses. I'm just giving that away for free.
Right, there you go. So I heard that 75% of hair and beauty professionals, they find it difficult setting firm boundaries, especially with family and friends, mates, rates, all of that jazz. It's used heavily in the industry. Like, why do you think that is, and how do we overcome that?
I think predominantly as a female-based industry, I'm not saying that's the same, obviously there is men in the industry as well. I just think we're just being people pleasers. I think women are expected to do that for people, for our village, and to help them out. And I think that's why we do it. Real friends will pay full price, or do a trade-off at the very least, like I'll fit someone's hair and they'll fit my hair, or things like that. I would never expect the girls I work with to discount their colouring surface when I want my highlights doing. We might come to a deal where I'll do a refit for them or something, but I would never, ever expect them to pay less. I think it's very sticky with friends and family, because if they don't like the result, it's very awkward. The discount is obviously awkward as well. I think friends should want to support you and pay more. And let's say, like, off the, like, completely off thing, I do my best friend's colour. I don't do any colouring services. I just do her highlights for her.
Yeah.
She will pay for all of the stuff. I'll tell her what to order, the peroxide, foils, bleach, everything. And then she will also buy me tea that night. And then we'll make a night of it. Like,
cute, yeah.
So there's a trade there in that sense. And then she used to do like brows for a little bit, so she'd like do my brows as well. Like, do you know what I mean? Just things like that. But I think it comes from us just being people pleasers and thinking that we have to like tailor our prices for them people around us. They should want to pay full price and support us. Do you know?
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen, definitely. Yeah, I love that. Now, I know you go into a lot of the depths of price and strategy within your course, which if people are more interested in that, they should absolutely check it out, which we'll get to later. But like, what would you say like the basic strategy is behind setting pricing when you're a beginner?
A lot of people will just look at what Jenny down the road's charging and be like, I'll just charge that, it'll be fine. You'd have no idea why Jenny from down the road is charging that. So as a real basic, I do actually have a pricing calculator in my training courses for people to have. It's a very basic bare bones one, but it does work. But there obviously is other ones in the market as well that are fantastic, like the freelance suite, things like that. They're amazing.
Back yourself. They should check out this course.
So I have got a pricing calculator in there. It's not like a swanky app, but it does the job. Like, so the very, very minimum that we want to be doing is just working out what something's costing you per service, what that service costs you to do. And then you know where you're at. Because if you're charging £80 for a refit and you think you're making £80 and then you actually work out things are costing you £45 and you're like, oh, well, I'm making £35, whatever the difference is, and then it takes you 3 hours, that's less than minimum wage, babe. Like, you're not even making it. So the very, very bare bones is work out what it costs you per hour or per service to do. And there is some that you can do it without a pricing calculator. There's ways you can do it manually. You'll have a headache after you've done it, but you can do it. And then from there, work out how much you want to be making an hour and add it on there.
Yeah. I hope people are making notes. Just to round us off here on the whole pricing talk. Have you got any horror stories of like what's like the worst story that comes to mind when like you've quoted someone a price, or like the biggest cheeky ask that someone's given you? Naming no names, of course.
No. So when I first started, it happened. Obviously, people were a bit like, oh, okay, like it's a bit expensive, I'll leave it anyway. But then when I've started training again, all that horror stories and PTSD from me starting has come up again with my students, and they're messaging me like, oh, like people aren't booking, it's this, that, and the other. I'm like, right, I need to see you messaging, like, what are you saying? One of my students says to me the other day that she'll quote someone and someone will reply to her and say, well, blah, blah, down the road can do it for 70 quid. And I said to her, what are you saying to them? Because I would be saying, go there then. Like, just go there then. Don't try and barter with me. Like, that was, when she said that, I was like, are you actually, I would dream of doing that. Like, we're not to barter for. I think for me, I don't have, for my side of it, because I've got to that point now where people wouldn't dare say that. Like, I don't mean that in like they wouldn't dare speak to me like that, but because I don't show myself as someone who can be asked.
It's more the newbies though, and you're hearing the horror stories from them.
It's my
being
students.
like, oh, so-and-so will do it. But,
blah, blah, down the road, I'll do it for 70 quid. I just said to her, I would be telling her to just go there then. Like, you don't want that client anyway. So I've had people, like a lot of students say, like they've had people say that to them. I think that's the worst thing. I wouldn't actually dream.
I wouldn't do that either.
I would not walk into, I don't know, think of a designer shop like Hugo Boss and looking for a t-shirt and then go, well, Primark sell this for 8 quid. I would never go in there and say that. Like, I'll go to Primark then. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's the same kind of principle. Or Another one that happens quite a lot in this industry, I think people say like, oh, I'll, can I pay you next week?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like, pay me early.
Yeah.
Pay me, like, you can pay me 2 weeks early when that payday comes in, not when the one after comes in.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, if you need to rearrange, you can do, but I'm not chasing you for a payment. Like, that's a cheeky one. Again, you won't walk into us and do a full weekly shop knowing it's not in your bank. Like, put it to one side. Like, if an emergency happens, that's obviously different. But no, you can't pay me later.
It's crazy when you put it into the perspective of going to these big brands as the Hugo Boss,
and that's
things like that.
Yeah, and I say that as well about price increases. When I see a really heartfelt story about why they're putting their prices up, I'm like, babe, Asda have put the price of baked beans up 4 times this year. They have not told you why. They just do it. Like, so don't get me wrong, you don't have to just do it with no surprises, but you don't have to make it so emotional and heartfelt. You're a business at the end of the day, and these costs need covering.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Amazing. Like, I'd love to, give you this space to tell us like what training opportunities are coming up at ELRAE this year.
So I have, of course, my new group program, which is Booked and Boss, which is a 6-month coaching retainer, like online. So it's nothing in person. There'll be weekly hot seat coaching calls, like access to me via WhatsApp for support and things like that. There's loads of like modules and training and things. And that is designed to help hair extension techs get more clients. I get fully booked is such a vague thing to say, but get an extra 3 to 5 clients a week, get fully booked. If they're wanting to quit that 9 to 5, we'll get them to that process. I work closely with the people in that retainer to get them where they want to be. Right. Of course, I've got me in-person education days, beginner training courses. So where it's actually not even a training course. I actually have renamed it to a hair extension program, because so many hair extension courses, you will just learn the technique and then you'll be on your way. The full program is from the day you pay for your course, which will obviously it's not on the day, it's like a month before or whenever. You get access to your online portal with a full pre-launch strategy. So you learn, you set the systems up before the day. Then on the day you're ready to go. And then on the day we go through all the systems. And then afterwards you've got that ongoing support for things that you might need as well. So it's actually not even just a course, it's a full program that I will work with them and help them get the first 5 clients and things like that.
I think I need to pivot from tech to hair extensions. You've sold it to me.
And then I always do things like success days where people who are already trained, they might want a method refresher, bring a model along, we'll take a bit of content for you. I'll teach you, fix some little pricing mistakes, fix some method mistakes, help you with your styling, things like that. So have the in-person success days, which are a little bit more tailored to the individual, beginner program, and then my new Booked and Boss program as well, which is going to help people
fantastic
leave their 9 to 5, get fully booked, make 5k a month, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, a bit of that. Now, we started off this podcast nattering about our vision boards, but what's next for your business? Like, what's on that vision board? Where do you see it going?
So this was on the vision board. We didn't put that in the recording, so I will be ticking the podcast microphone off the screen. That was what I wanted to do this year, and I got this because I came out and asked you. Like, I went and got it. I didn't just wait for it to fall on my lap. I went and got it. So anyone on the vision board, go out and get it. I think I would like to get more into the online and virtual like education space and start helping more people, because sometimes distance and travel is an issue for people. They really want to learn with me or train with me, but the distance just isn't feasible. For some people will do it, some people won't, and that's absolutely fine with them. I wouldn't expect just because one person's phoning from Ireland that somebody else will fly in from Ireland. Everybody's situation is different. So I really want to get in more into the online education space and help more people virtually as well.
How is it that people can get in touch and inquire about your courses?
So I take a lot of my inquiries through my social media, so my Instagram or my TikTok, which is ELRAE Hair Academy. I'm chronically online, so I'm on there quite a lot. I'm quite quick with responses and things. I've got an inquiry form on there if you'd rather fill that out first and then I get in touch with you. That's not a problem. But yes, my social media platforms are the best place to get in contact with me because I'm always on there.
As much as we hear, we love it.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, final question. If you could go back and whisper some advice into 16-year-old Ellie's ear from like year 11 on like day 1 of your level 2 hairdressing, like what would that piece of advice be?
Oh God, I would do it. I just would give her a cuddle. Like she is just, honestly, like, very proud of her. I would say to her, to be honest, it's a hard one because everything that I've done that was wrong at the time has actually led me here. So,
but maybe she needed to know that.
Yeah. So like, that's probably what I'd say to her. Like, you're gonna go down quite a few different twists and turns, like you said that I did. but it's all going to end up exactly where you want it to be.
Yeah.
Like if she knew I ran a training academy that's won hair extension academy of the year, she'd be like, no way, no way. She'd be like, wait, you live in Newcastle, what the hell? Like she'd be like, that's so cool. So yeah, I think I would just say to her, like, everything that goes wrong leads you here. So like, just let it happen.
Just let it happen.
Just trust it.
Yeah.
Be patient. I still need to learn that. Now 28-year-old Ellie needs to know that, let alone 16-year-old Ellie.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. And I'm sure it will have resonated with some of our listeners today.
Oh, I hope so.
Thank you so much, Ellie. I've had such a fun time.
Thank you for having me. I've had the best time. I've got the vision board ticked off. I'm so happy. And I've had the best time doing it.